Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Impact Talks today. My name is Priyanka Banerjee. I'm the CEO and co-founder of BusinessWiz. We are an organization helping the companies with diversity, equity, and inclusion services. For example, assessing the state of company culture, providing strategic development, inclusive leadership programs, and other learning programs to help create a more inclusive future. And in this Impact Talks is one of our initiatives where we bring in thought leaders and influencers who are creating impact in the world. And because we feel that social sustainability and the overall sustainability is so much important in today's world, especially today with so much where we still see violence and war situations happening. We think that the future is much better when all of us work towards a more sustainable future. And to discuss today the topic of sustainable innovation, we have with us Shahriare. He's the Chief Sustainability Officer from Spinnova, and he will tell us a little bit more about what Spinnova does, about their innovation process. And maybe I will give the stage to him now so that he can introduce himself and then we can dive right into the discussion. So welcome, Shahriare. And first of all, thank you so much for your time and energy and for agreeing to do this session with us.
Thank you very much, Priyanka. It's a pleasure. And thanks for having me. And I'm definitely, it's a pleasure that if I can share this good innovation that is definitely looking for the sustainable future, or in fact, it has a big potential to make some impact for the future. So it will be definitely a pleasure to share what we are doing and what we are planning actually to do in the future.
But let us first tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and how did you started working in this field? We would be happy to know that.
Yeah. So I myself actually chemical engineer. I did my chemical engineering from my home country, Bangladesh, and also I have been, for some reason from the beginning, I've been somehow involved in the textile industry. I've been working in the production, in the R&D, and later with the innovations, and also further to the sustainability. So I grew myself as a sustainability professional when I have been actually working for the process optimization in the industry, in the production. As a chemical engineer, I found easily that we had a lot to do in the wet processing, especially where we are actually having probably the largest impact on the environment in the textile supply chain. So I thought that I had something to do with that, and I've been focusing more on the environmental sustainability. Later on, I like to understand more on the total sustainability, and actually started my research and did my PhD in the sustainability in fashion industry or fashion supply chain. And pretty much working in the textile industry, or let's say fashion industry, from the very beginning till now. And I have been privileged to work in different stage of the supply chain, fashion supply chain, starting from the, let's say, fiber production. Well, this is my role nowadays, but I have been earlier working in the, let's say, the fabric production, fabric dyeing and finishing with the brands. Been working also earlier as an innovation and sustainability director for the brands. So have seen it also from the top. So I should say that I have seen the whole value creation process and the sustainable issues or sustainability issues in the supply chain where we need to work further. So it definitely gives me a base to involve more in the research, not only in the industry, but I thought that I need to learn further through the research, and I have the possibility also probably to contribute something to the academies.
Right. And when I met you first, it was also interesting because, you know, I have no background in textile industry. I don't understand fiber and anything. My background is actually in tech. I'm an electronics engineer, but I have been working with social sustainability aspect for so long. So that is also one of our main reasons why we bring in sustainability professionals, because we want to understand how it could be a holistic thing. Because most of the time when we talk about sustainability, it is generally referred to as environmental sustainability, but people play such an important role. So
Absolutely.
we would love to know more about that. But first, let's dive into understanding a bit more about Spinnova. What are you doing? What is your innovation process? And we will ask you questions during the process if we have doubts. So everybody feel free to put your chats anytime. And I think you have the rights to share your screen if you would like to share.
Maybe that will give us some context for the discussion. I don't want to put it as a just a presentation, so it would be nice to have a kind of a dialogue also, and definitely would love to hear from the audience if there is some questions. So I put it in the full screen. I hope it's visible there.
Yes, please.
Yes. So we, Spinnova, let's start maybe before going to the Spinnova's innovation and what we are doing, that what problems we want to solve, and where we can actually make impact. So we know that this slide that's showing the textile industry today, these are some of the problems, just highlights, and the numbers are definitely from some researchers. So we know that it has an impact in all different areas. So we wanted to actually focus or actually learn further that where are the problems and what we can do. We know that the environmental issues are quite strongly attached to textile supply chain. Like the CO2 emission, then the chemical high amount of chemical use, not only chemical, I mean harsh chemical use. We use a lot of energy in this industry, and most of the wet processings are very water intensive. So we are touching all those different areas, and then definitely further we are also, nowadays we hear a lot about the microplastic because of the growth of the synthetic fibers, and they have the major share in the market nowadays. So those are real concern, and we know that at the end we use a lot of clothes. The clothes are available nowadays, especially last couple of decades. And this is a good thing, but on the other hand, it is also raised a concern that how we are going to solve this so-called waste problem. So these all are very much attached to the textile industry today, and probably Spinnova is answering to many of those questions. I think when I will be walking you through what we are doing, what is about our innovation, you might find out further that how we are going to solve those issues, or at least offering. It's all started when our one of the co-founder, he has been in a conference in Oxford. He was observing that that how actually the spiders are creating the web, and that's actually giving him some thought that can we mimic that and produce also the fiber by using cellulose. We know that with the cellulose, with the pulp paper industry and trees, everything, forest, there is a long history in Finland. So very naturally, and of course, cellulose is one of the, or not most abundant natural polymer. So that's probably the best way to start. And when he was thinking about that, definitely we know that this wood-based fiber is nothing new actually in this industry. It's 100 years old thing, and the technology also that we are using the wood-based fiber. But we were thinking that how it can be done without using the harmful chemistry, harmful chemical processes, or intensive, chemically intensive processes. So the main aim of this innovation was really to offer a solution to the textile market, not only textile market, I mean overall the market, because our fiber is not only going to apply in the textile applications, but it can be also for other applications too. So the main idea was that how we could produce the fiber without using any dissolving chemistry and any harmful chemicals. So why I have been putting here the dissolving and chemicals as in a bold letter to understand better, especially for the audience, that these are something major problem where we are going to solve with our technology. So dissolving chemistry, we are taking the pulp that we use for making the paper, cardboard, etc. But for making the fiber, it has to be gone through some dissolving chemistry, and definitely those dissolving chemistry use a lot of harmful chemicals. And there actually Spinnova provide the real solution. So we actually come up with a very clean process, very simple process that is not using any of those challenges, or including not any of those challenges. So we have yes,
sorry to just like say in between, but I was just trying to bring it together for the audience that today's topic is also sustainable and innovation, which means that like I really liked the story of the founders when they saw the spider web, and something comes to your mind that we can create something innovative from this, and then going through the process of understanding that how that development might or must not harm the environment or harm the people. And that is what sustainable innovation really means. And this is how it looks in practice, how step by step you can think about what we are developing should not impact negatively in any other way.
Exactly.
So here now we are talking about the environmental impact and how Spinnova is now creating something that is solving that challenge. But yeah, go ahead. I just wanted to summarize that part.
Yes, and that is why I think we thought that when we have formed the company, we started with the mission that we want to produce the most sustainable textile material, which definitely have a greater impact for the environment and of course for the mankind, which is if we do some good for the environment, definitely it is helping also for the people. We maybe start with the Spinnova process, that all those so-called technical discussion. I think it will be interesting, and I try to put it in a very simple way so that you don't need to be a technical expert or chemist to understand this process. This is a very simple diagram how this works. So we take actually the wood pulp, or let's say wood on the first step. That's definitely some certified wood that you have the full transparency. Then pulping is done, or pulp is made out of those certified wood. That's not done by us, but we take the pulp, and pulp is actually comes to us in a sheet form, and then we take it and we do the mechanical refining. So that's the first step of Spinnova process. We do the mechanical refining, and we produce through the mechanical refining called microfibrillated cellulose. It's basically a gel-like product, and from that microfibrillated cellulose, we actually produce a suspension, a solution that can be extruded through our Spinnova technology. It's very important to notice here that Spinnova is just not producer of this so-called suspension or the solution or the formulation. We are also producer, or the innovation also involved the way how you are spinning. So this whole thing is actually invented by Spinnova. And then when you have done this extrusion and drying, so we are getting the fiber in the filament form. And then here actually it will be more in the simple form. And what are the benefits involved with this process? So we take on the left hand side, as you can see, wood and any other agri waste also we have been using in some proof of concept projects. So we take the raw material through the pulping, we take the pulp and we do the mechanical refining, and then it simply extrude through without using any water, any chemical, any further process. So it's just extrude through the formulation, just extrude through, and we dry the water containing in the solution, in the suspension. So you dry up the water, and that is actually get us evaporated water, and we are actually using it back. So it's a fully closed system, so nothing is going out. Very important point is to notice that we do not produce any solid waste or any liquid waste from this process. So directly whatever you putting in the solution, in the suspension form, we are getting out as a fiber, and only waste we create is the evaporated water, which we are using back to our process.
That's really interesting. Also, I could understand, so it's not very complicated. And here I would like to know a bit more about, so you said the raw material and the pulping is not happening in Spinnova. So this means that you have supply chain to get the raw materials and to get this pulping. So of course we can see that you have done quite a lot good on the environmental aspect. How do you make sure that your supply chain is also, let's say, not exploited, or you selected the supply chain keeping in mind that they are following the basic human rights in so to say? So that would be one of my questions, and maybe I'll let you answer that first and we go into the next question.
Yeah, very good question, and this is extremely important. So we are in a very good position with the innovation. The innovation itself is it's very sustainable. So I think we have to do just other things well or good enough. So from the social sustainability point of view, environmental sustainability point of view, in the upstream and downstream part of our supply chain, is actually maintained already. We have started this procedure, as we are actually public limited company and publicly listed company. So we do have to do this kind of due diligences. Luckily, we have got very good partners. So soon I will be sharing with you with our scale up plan, where we have got our partner Suzano from Brazil. They are the world's largest pulp producer. And they actually they are our major supplier for the pulp, and that is actually is FSC certified or PSC certified pulp, or their process is FSC certified. So that's actually ensures that there's all kind of issues that you have mentioned is well taken care of. And I have later a couple of slides mentioning those things, that with Suzano, how we are dealing, who are they, and how this FSC or other any kind of certification is helping in these kind of issues.
I was just asking because textile industry is one of the not just environmentally polluting industry, but it has also created a lot of human rights issues, or let's say the supply chain issues, where we don't see a lot of social sustainability aspects. So maybe when we go there, you can walk us through how to find these partners who we can work with, or how to make sure that our supply chain is also due diligent on the matters. But yeah,
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So maybe on the technical side, one more slide. It is extremely important that I have been highlighting a few times that it is a very mechanical process, and all the cellulosic fiber, like if you see your t-shirt or a dress, you will easily find that we have been using viscose, we have been using lyocell in similar kind of fibers, which are actually all are cellulosic fiber, all are from made out of tree, made out of from the pulp, and but the main point is that they all are done through dissolving chemistry. They all are done through the wet spinning method, and they all are, when they are chemically dissolved, it means that you are dealing with some harmful or harsh chemicals that you need to actually wash off, which means that you have to use the several washing cycle or rinsing cycle to wash off those substances, and which means that you are actually producing the wastewater. But in our case, as we do not have any chemical processing involved, we do not need to actually wash those, we do not need to rinse those, and our spinning method is a dry spinning method, and that is why it is producing no waste, no side stream, no waste stream, etc. And this is the greatest advantage of Spinnova's technology, that we are basically taking everything without harming the environment, and it's much better technology compared to the other man-made cellulosic fibers at the moment. So that's all about the Spinnova technology. I can take any further questions if there is really anything need to be clarified further, but maybe we can take it later. But I think I would like to go with the raw material, that what actually we are using, and here maybe some of the things will be answered as Priyanka you have been referring to. First of all, we have actually possibility of using different kind of raw materials. So wood-based raw material, wood pulp is definitely our main and most important raw material. And that was our start. From the beginning, we have been mainly focusing on that thing, and we are still focusing in our scaling up this wood-based raw material. And that is always, we ensure that it is from it is a certified raw material for the sake of transparency. And as you can see here, these are FSC either or PEFC certified. I actually have put another slide what actually certified wood means, what kind of benefits we are getting out of that. But let's keep this part of the discussion in the raw material. And I must highlight that although we are heavily focusing on wood-based raw material, but we have also the potential and possibility to use other raw material like agricultural waste. Like these, the picture you can see in this slide is a product made out of straw. And from that, we have produced fiber, we have produced the yarn, and this is one of the demo product that has been made out of that straw. This is actually done in the proof of concept stage basis, and that works perfectly. So it proves that we have actually a lot of potential of using different kind of raw material or waste stream. And it is also good to mention that we also use the textile waste. Textile waste means not the whole textile waste stream, but if a textile is containing a Spinnova part, that we can actually take out and can recycle it. So I can elaborate further later on that part. Yeah. Should I go for scaling up now?
Yes,
maybe
yes, go ahead.
Maybe audience would like to hear about that. What is our plan for the future? This is, as you can see in the middle, the Spinnova. It's our we produced the technology platform. We are actually doing the joint venture with our partners in different areas, like as you can see the Susano, with them we have been doing the joint venture at the moment for the wood-based stream. As I have mentioned, that there are possibility of using different raw material streams. So from the top you can see wood, leather, agricultural waste, textile waste, so many different kind of raw material we can use. But at the moment, our main focus is the wood-based raw material, and with that we are actually scaling up now. And one of the very important joint venture also ongoing together with ECCO, where we are actually using the leather processing waste, so the shapes from the in the leather processing, and we take that and can produce the fiber out of that. Of course, that's not cellulosic fiber, that's a protein-based fiber. I will be elaborating that later. And then of course, Spinnova is retaining all the rights, technological right and everything, whatever joint venture we are doing. But we are also in another part, we are doing the collaboration very heavily with the global brand partners. And here, I think it is very important that when you are asking Priyanka that how we actually taking care about our partners are also taking care of those issues that often discussed in this industry or highlighted in this industry. And one thing I think very important here to see that those partners who are coming to Spinnova or actually somehow connected to some innovative technology, they are often focusing on sustainability. I know that sustainability is an umbrella term, but they have that so-called mindset. So do something better. That what we are doing traditionally now in a very linear way, we want to go it further to the circular way. We want to do better in the environmental sustainability side and the social sustainability side. So this actually shows that that they have this kind of intention. And definitely we will have actually much better opportunity in the future to work closely with them on those kind of issues.
Can I also ask some question?
Please.
And sorry if I'm being a bit challenging. But like, for example, some name that I see here, and I immediately comes to my mind that some brands like that have been not very famous for being quite socially sustainable. So my question would be, what is your process to ensure the intentions of that how your product will be used, what kind of impact it will have going further in the supply chain? And do you have any best practices that you would like to share when selecting even your customers or your partners in terms of making sure that your values are maintained all throughout?
Yeah, I think extremely important point. So I think first in the big picture, when you see those brands who are approaching to us, their intention is very clear. They want to do it better. They are in the business. Whether the business the business model maybe can be questioned, but they are in the business and they have to go towards the sustainable future, sustainable direction. So and it is indicating that they are actually looking for this kind of solution to make it more sustainable. Like we know that there are brands who are promoting, let's say, the fast fashion, but this is the somehow the reality now. But if you can provide a solution that you are using so-called product, but it is also not producing at the end of its life cycle any further problem through the waste, like it is going as a landfill, or is it going for incineration? So if you could provide that opportunity that it can be recycled and actually upcycled, then I think it is already providing a greater solution for those kind of brands. And as I mentioned to you, we are probably going to offer an end-to-end solution. So we are using very sustainable raw material. I haven't mentioned, compared to other dissolving chemistries used, our yield is much more higher because we are able to use very raw pulp, the kraft pulp, that can be used for making the paper, cardboard, etc. So these is giving us the opportunity also to have a better yield, which means for the same amount of fiber, we are using much less land for cultivating the forest. And then we are producing the fiber through a extremely sustainable technology. It has almost least impact on the environment. And then when we are actually at the moment developing the products, we are mostly blending it and combining it with also another available natural fibers, so that whole product should retain its so-called biodegradability value or recyclability value. And then you are also providing at the end of its life cycle the recyclability or upcyclability. As I mentioned, if a fabric or a product is containing Spinnova, we can take the share and we can actually produce fiber out of it with the same quality at least, which means we are not doing the recycling only, but also the upcycling.
Also, you mentioned at some point about the transparency, that your process is quite transparent. So do you have any tools that you use or any process that you use to ensure that transparency?
Yes, actually there is a few slides I have put together how actually we are working with our supply chain partners, how we are ensuring the end-to-end transparency through the database we have integrated with our process. So maybe I will be focusing on that in the later part. Here is or a view of our pilot scale plan, and probably you can see that it's not really in a very proof of concept level or in the lab scale. It's really a production scale plan where we are working at the moment and producing actually fiber like a production line. And then we another snapshot from our textile laboratory to show you that how much deeply we are also involved in the textile process. So in not only producing the fiber, but we also need to ensure that the further processes are also intact. So we can produce the yarn from the fiber, we can produce the fabric from the yarns, and so on. So that is why we have a fully equipped lab where we are actually, our textile experts are working to take it towards the commercialization. Here are some figure that to show you that what is our plan for the future. So I have mentioned about the joint venture with Suzano, with whom we are now building the wood spin. We call it wood spin plant, and we are working on that at the moment. I mean, the construction is going on, and we are expecting by end of 2022 it will be operational. So we are expecting in 2023 to produce the fiber in commercial scale. So and of course that's the very beginning. So we wanted to have this proof of concept. This technology is so new, so fresh, that even in the production scale you have to have the proof that it is working in the production scale. So all the proof of concept has been done in the pilot scale. We know that it's working well, but again, you never know what is going to happen in the production, because it's such a fresh technology. So this is another proof of concept plant, and then we have our aim to reach 2 million tons of fiber production by 2030. So that's what we are aiming for at the moment. This is the Suzano collaboration. So I think they are our partner from 2017. They are one of the very few pulp producer in the world, and actually the largest pulp producer. So they have extremely deep or high level sustainability focus, and they actually looking for this kind of sustainable technology. And they have found that we are the good collaborator, and then we decided together to go with this scale-up plan. So the plant we are making at the moment is together with Suzano, and the production will be operational in 2023 together with them. Mm-hmm. Here is a snapshot from it's a central Finland in Jyväskylä, where we are building our factory. So this is to show that we are working actually, and it is happening. Yeah. So we are expecting that all looks like on track. So we are expecting that it will be also on time with the production too.
Just another very quick question, that now that you're building these production plants and factories, and I saw your scale-up plan is quite ambitious as well. How do you plan to ensure that the communities around, or the area around where building these production lines, are not impacted, or they are not, or they actually get benefit from coming closer, or economic benefit in some way? Is there any plan or any thought that you have given about how it will impact the local communities?
Yeah, and that's part of the corporate social responsibility. So you have to take care about the local community, and also to hear the voice. Definitely, environmentally, we don't expect any kind of impact, because as we do not produce basically any waste, and it's a basically waste-free process. Mm-hmm. So from that point of view, I think we are well in track. But from the economic side, it is also definitely has an impact, because this is going to be, I think, definitely employing the local people. So local employment will be impacted directly or benefited, and also you'll be happy to hear that we were even a couple of years back, I don't remember, few tens of people only, and now we are over 70 people working in the company. So we are growing in extremely high pace. Actually, personally myself, I haven't seen such a startup or early stage company is going such a high pace. So I must put it that there is definitely a lot of benefit to be expected for the local community, and also a lot of highlight for the city like Jyväskylä. And we are not only producing this. I have another slide where I'm showing also that we have been investing also for an yarn spinning line that is not very common in this region.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure for the audience or the people who are listening it afterwards on recording, if they are thinking about coming up with some certain kind of innovation, to also think about the communities and the people around that they will be impacting. And you have a good product, so it's not impacting environmentally, but a lot of other factories or production lines might be also impacting environmentally to the regions, and how to make sure that it doesn't do harm is also something that should be kept in mind when thinking about the sustainable innovation, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah, so this is another exciting development we have. So we take leather waste, leather processing waste actually, and that is used we also produce the same kind of suspension formulation, and then we use the same Spinnova technology to produce the fiber out of that waste. So we are working on it. The pilot is ongoing. The work is ongoing. So we are expecting that this is going to be another game changer, and definitely something very, very interesting and also very sustainable for the industry. So you are using absolute waste here, which actually we know that leather processing is very, very harmful and containing a lot of harmful chemistry there and the processes there. So we are expecting very high from it, and we are doing together with ECCO for this joint venture project. And finally, about our scale-up plant, we have already decided to go for a spinning plant, which is expected to be operational by end of 2022, so this year. And that's also we want to put it near to our fiber production facility, so that we want to make it the product development much more agile, so that we don't need to go, for example, abroad or some other places where mainly the textile operations are happening, especially the yarn spinnings are happening. So we really see that in order to be commercial company, strongly make our product commercial, we need to put more effort there in the material development, so including yarn development, fabric development, etc. So we has decided to go for that, and for that we actually doing the world's largest or not largest but leading short stipple spinning solution supplier, Reater, from whom we are getting this solution. So this is all about our future plan, and maybe just a little bit about from where we came and where we are standing now. Yes, Priyanka.
Just now that you have the whole future plan, and I am a very big believer of having your people in the company also included in the strategy, having inclusion, having diversity as a part of the strategy. And of course, what do you think about like a best practice when creating these kind of plans for the future? How important it is to keep people in the heart of the strategy?
Yes, this is so important that I think although it is a very early stage company, but we have to remember that to make it happen, and we are actually doing something out of the box, and if you do it in very traditional way, probably it will not go as in the pace as you expect. So you have to really put some extremely good effort to make it happen. And as you can see, the aggressive plan we have, we need really a lot of effort from our people and our collaborators. And that is why it is I'm as an employee of Spinnova, I can say that how valuable our each and every personnel are, and we value definitely almost each and every one who has a very definite role in each area. For the early stage company, you know that each and every one really are very significant in their input, so that this whole thing, scale up thing and the commercialization thing is happening and as planned. And we have created our values. We know that this is very important for a company, that you have to define your value, and you have to progress based on those values, and every other operation should be built upon that. And you cannot just solely take the sustainability as a part, as a department. It's a corporate responsibility department. So they are doing the sustainability thing, but it is very much integrated in our operation. Our people are very much engaged in that, and the people we are working on the corporate sustainability and also our corporate function departments, they are extremely engaging with the people in this progress, like creating the values and maintaining those values. We are really keeping.
I really love that, because when you said that we need to have the values and then build everything around the values, I think that's a great takeaway for everybody here for today. But please go ahead. We do have some question, and we are like now around 10-12 minutes remaining.
Okay, so I was expecting it will not go as long, but looks like it is something that we can discuss around. Yeah. So maybe just briefly, so I told you that 29 when we have started this from this idea, and 2014 actually when the company has formed, spinned off from VTT, and then in 2019 we have started our industrial scale pilot plan, and a lot of things happened in 2021, and we have been a publicly listed company last year, and expecting in 2022 this year our first commercial scale factory. Just the highlights here, and this is our plan outlook in a nutshell, that we are going for the wood spin plant, and then of course with the ECOS partnership we are going with this another innovative products, and definitely we are having very strong collaboration with the brands. I think some of those you have seen already in the market, that what we are doing together with our partners. So brands are very important, because we are actually co-developing. So in the core, our fiber is there, but it is suitable in different kind of especially in textile applications. This is we have to ensure, and that is why we have actually working with these so-called world-class brands for different kind of application, and you will be seeing that we are actually working very deeply with those partners. We are lucky to have them, definitely, and for them actually we have produce different kind of products, like for example Spinnova fiber is the first and foremost product, definitely, and here probably you can see in the picture that it is not only white fiber, we have also colored fiber. So that's going to be another groundbreaking thing for the industry, that we probably will be able to produce the colored fiber. So you do not need to go for the very chemically intensive and water intensive, energy intensive dyeing finishing process, or at least we will be able to offer that it is going to be much shorter because the fiber itself is containing the color. So that's something our main product, the fiber, and then we are producing the yarn from the fiber, and as I mentioned, that we are expecting our own yarn spinning line to have much better R&D and agile R&D, and then definitely we have produced many different kind of fabrics. Very important point here is that we can really think it as a replacement of the so-called natural fibers, for example cotton or linen as such, because this is a technology that we are not dissolving the pulp or the cellulose, let's say. So it is keeping intact the original form of the cellulose. That is why in the final product you get this touch and feel like a natural fiber or natural fabric. Yeah, so that's I think probably the highlight of Spinnova's product, and as I mentioned earlier, it is very much recyclable. At least we had proof of concept.
Yeah, sorry, we had one question about this, like, are the Spinnova fibers recyclable, and if so, do you have process or programs with the fashion brands you work with to ensure that the Spinnova fibers are recycled?
Yeah. So that's actually the ultimately the aim. So we in the proof of concept level, we have found that it is recyclable. We have been working on it, and we have found that the fiber is very much even in from a blend, we can very much separate it and can do the upcycling, actually not recycling. So it's a very high quality fiber again. So you can put it even in the same application. Again, it is very important to notice that with some of the recycling, especially mechanically recycling, we are not getting actually same quality of fiber. So it is also very important, not only you are recycling the fiber, recycling a product, you are getting a high quality thing that you can apply in the apparel application, textile application. So we have a great potential on that, and definitely brands are extremely interested on that. But first thing is first, we have to make it happen. Then I'm sure our partners are very interested, and they will be they would like to grab this technology, I think. Yeah. Then a little bit about our value chain, and here probably some of the questions will be answered. We have discussed, Priyanka, you have raised those questions. We are definitely using the certified raw material. Why? If you use the certified raw material, PEFC certified or FSC certified, this is actually a very good way to ensure that you comply with the so-called social and environmental standard, highest social and environmental standard. That is extremely important, because when you are talking about commercial scale production, it is very important to have a system in place so that you can track back from where your raw materials come from. So with the FSC or PEFC certification, you can ensure that. And this certification system actually supported by credible environmental and social organizations. So often FSC or PEFC certification systems are cross-checked by those so-called NGOs. And this is also not only from that point of view that it had to be certified. We also wanted to know and also wanted to keep track to offer it further. So I will show you how we are maintaining the data. So each and every production lot we are creating, actually we have so-called is it a right word? Maybe as an electronics or engineer, you know better. It's kind of a live data. We take the data and store it absolutely live. So this is one of the very important point, that we know exactly which raw material we are using. We know this is coming probably here. We know that which raw material has been used, which feedstock has been used, and then which lot of fiber has been extruded, what was the drying process, even the CO2 emission, water evaporation through the drying process, everything we can actually calculate and keep in the database. So it is actually integrated with our system. So on the downstream side, we can very much follow it. And then we wanted to also take it further. So if you see this picture, how our process is working in the supply chain, on the left-hand side, I have taken it from our partner Suzano. They are controlling it of their own from the nursery up to the logistics. So they are delivering us the pulp. And then in the middle, this is the Spinnova process. And on the right-hand side, we are collaborating with the partners, the yarn spinning partner, the fabric partners, dyeing finishing partner, etc. So we are actually keeping this track. So downstream side, we have full data, and we are also attaching it, or will be attaching it together with the further the upstream part suppliers or value providers. So that's actually the how we want to control it. So if someone is asking this specific product, I want to track back, so you can absolutely go up to the end to track it back. So we can say it end to end end-to-end kind of transparency. And this is just a few description of how we are doing, but I think it is already self-evident through this visualization that how we are handling it. Yeah, I'm trying to go a bit quicker because I think we are out of time. Definitely would like to hear about our why it is sustainable. So first of all, we are working with, we are deeply doing this so-called life cycle analysis of our product. A mini disclaimer is this is very early stage calculation, and always those kind of data are very correct when it is actually commercial scale you are producing. So the numbers from the early stage calculation, and we have found that from the traditional cotton, we have been saving about 99% water use in our process. And of course, we are keeping it natural, keeping it intact. So it's biodegradable easily in aerobic or anaerobic condition. And definitely we are having this minimal CO2 emission through our process, because we are not putting any number, because we are still verifying it, as we are going to soon scale it up. Of course, this is, I think, the main important point, that it is 100% circular. So we are keeping intact everything. So the biodegradability feature. So if you want to have it biodegradable, you want to make it biodegradable, that is possible. If you want to produce, recycle it, that is also possible. And that is why we can call it a 100% circular solution for the market. And this is the ecosystem that we are dreaming of, that we can facilitate the industry with this ecosystem. So someone will be using the Spinnova's fiber, and then a brand manufacturer, of course, they are producing with their supply chain partners a product that will be put into the commerce, and then that should be getting back to Spinnova if it is containing Spinnova. And then if we can get it back through the Spinnova system, we will be able to take Spinnova, share out, and we can definitely recycle it without any kind of dissolving and harmful chemicals. Again, that's very important. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is so-called sustainability values or benefits we have through this innovation. And I think I can finish off by showing some of the picture. So this is the latest launch we have together with Adidas. This is a product that is produced from Spinnova fiber. And then some of these here, like Bergens of Norway, these are actually commercially available. It has been put into the commerce by Bergens, and you know Marimekko very well. So we have one of our early stage partner with whom we have actually produced some of those products. And probably this is also showing that we are not only retaining in the textile, but also in the composite. So this ski is produced out of Spinnova fiber and fabric, actually. So this shows that we are actually covering the wide area. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much for the interesting presentation. And I would say that in your sustainability values, you should also calculate how much it's gonna it's going to help the society as well, because the fast fashion, one of the reasons I wanted to have this session about textile industry, even when I don't know much about it, is because how much fast fashion is impacting the social aspects of our lives. And quite a lot of things that you said would be really helpful for the countries where we don't have to dump our waste, if we can manage that or use less resources. So absolutely, you should add the social aspects in that slide as well. And I would say that this was a really interesting way of showing how the innovation process works. And also you have taken us throughout your products and kind of like helped us understand the thinking process behind the whole thing. So thank you so much for that. unfortunately, we are running out of time. So I would have to maybe take up some questions if that is okay with you, or if you want
Yes,
to
please.
end up with something, if you want to share some last tips to companies that are going into the sustainability in the textile field, to what to think about when they are innovating and how to make sure that it is not impacting, or it is people and planet positive.
Yeah, actually, maybe this is an extremely good question. I mean, I have been very much working on it in my PhD also. I've been mentioning it as a total sustainability. I have been trying to advocate this term total sustainability. If we do some bits and pieces of the innovation here and there, probably it doesn't have a greater impact. In order to have a greater impact, we need to think about the total sustainability, and that's integrating everything like environmental, social. Of course, it should be also a profitable one. You are just not producing something for the very niche, which is extremely expensive, and that has a very small impact for the society. So I must take what you have mentioned, that we also should integrate or take this social sustainability also as a slide here, definitely, and that's actually we are working with some of the people, I should say, that who really analyze that what social benefits we are creating through this innovation. We have to analyze further. We have to go deeper into it, definitely, and it will be much more. It will make sense when we are more commercial. So we have the value chain in place. And operational, then you can really measure. For example, when you are wanted to do even the LCA, life cycle analysis, from the environmental perspective, you have to have a fully functional supply chain or value creation process. So definitely this is one of the most important thing in our sustainability agenda, and we definitely hope to share more in the future.
Thank you so much for all of that. And we have some questions, but they're more towards the technical side. So I'm gonna say bye to our audience who are watching the recording. And then if you have a few more minutes, we call it backstage to have a bit more discussion. So thank you everyone for joining, and see you in our next Impact Talks with a new topic. Thank you, bye-bye.